Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lasham morning briefing for Saturday, the 11th of May, 2024. We'll make a start with the synoptic, and as you can see, the high pressure at midnight last night was centered out in the middle of the North Sea, and this low pressure out in the Atlantic is providing a cold front which is slowly marching towards us. We'll just progress that forward to lunchtime today. You can see the high pressure's moved a little bit further away. The low's a bit closer to us, but it shouldn't affect us today. And if we run that through tonight and into tomorrow, you can see that there's a couple of troughs developing in front of the cold front, which may well affect the weather tomorrow, but we'll see what that brings in the morning. Moving on to the spot winds. We're looking at about 120 15 knots to 100 degrees 15 knots throughout the day, which kind of indicates that we're going to be on 09, and indeed we're already setting up on 09 as I speak. Looking at the satellite pic here, basically most of the UK basking in sunshine right now, apart from a bit of top cover over in East Anglia area. The rain radar is showing virtually nothing across the southern half of England. And if we look at the rain forecast and run that throughout the day, you can see this cold front out in the Atlantic moving slowly towards us, but I think it's also thinning out a little bit. And there's also some rain and showers out in the North Sea, but nothing to affect us today. The local weather, we're showing cumulus from about 10 o'clock onwards. The temperatures here are rising quite rapidly to about 20 centigrade at lunchtime. It's peaking around about 22 in the afternoon. And if we look down here at the UV, around about 1300, we've got figures of 6 and 7 for the UV. So make sure you've got plenty of sunscreen on today, and make sure you drink plenty of water. The winds here are showing east-northeasterly about 8, 9, 10 knots to begin with, going right around through the east to east-southeast, around about 10, and gusting sort of 14 to 17 knots throughout the day. Looking at, again, the temperatures here, 20 to 21 in the local area, with the dew point around about 13 to 14. The soaring met right now is showing 15 centigrade with a dew point of just over 11. And looking out the window, you can see we've got reasonably clear blue skies. It's still a little bit hazy, but that's a product of the high pressure. And that's something I'm going to mention later on as well. When you're flying, is the visibility is going to be a little bit worse than it has been the last few days. Looking at sky sights, they're showing cumulus forming. Quite thin cumulus, around about lunchtime, about 12 o'clock, with cloud base going up throughout the day. They're showing quite high there, actually over 6,000 feet for cloud base. But of course, the thermal heights are showing up here nearer to just over 5,000. But remember, that's above mean sea level, and we are 617 feet above sea level, so about 4,500 feet. So for your thermal tops later on in the afternoon. Looking at the potential distance today, I would draw a line along the M4 corridor and say south of that corridor is probably going to be your best bet. And if we compare that with top meteo, that shows the band of good weather for cross-country soaring, again, south of the M4. A quick look at the thermal projections. We'll start here at 9 o'clock and just go through sort of 10, 11 o'clock. You can see it picks up really quickly. And then we get the cumulus around about 12. That concurs with sky sight. And we're up at about 1,500 meters towards the best part of the afternoon, maybe even up to 1,700 meters in places. So a reasonably good soaring day ahead of us. There's no TAF from Odium today, but the METAR at the moment is showing 0403 knots with a bit of mist, 6 kilometers visibility, no cloud. Temperature 13, dew point 10, and the pressure 1021. And looking at Farnborough, 0605 knots with 5 kilometers in haze, no clouds, and again, temperatures similar and pressures similar. NOTAMs for today. 23 is Barton Stacey live firing, 27 is the Ash Ranges, 26, the Larkhill danger area has been activated today. 18, if you do go along the south coast, there's rocket firing at Crawley between 3 and 5 this afternoon. 28 is the, 30 is the Upmoor Ranges, 32 is Little Risington parachuting. And whilst we're on NOTAMs, I just mentioned that tomorrow there's an aerobatics competition on at Popham. That'll be NOTAMed and briefed tomorrow morning. Just let me move on to the airfield brief. So there's no movements today. We'll set up on runway 09 for a dry operation, winching to the south side on the grass, aerotowing to the north side of the runway, the club grid to the north side of 09 on the grass in the usual place. Anybody with a heavy glider, please feel free to grid at the back of the club, aerotow launch point on the runway. There's going to be light east-northeasterly winds, veering to east-southeasterly during the day. And as I mentioned earlier, visibility reducing with that maturing high pressure. So lookout today is going to become increasingly difficult, I think. Just keep your eyes peeled and keep your alarms switched on. The flying list for today, booking-wise, is pretty full. There's no spare slots there at all. If we have a look, all single-seaters are booked. So there's 2 K21s on booked flying with Dave Williams and Sam Cool. There's 1 K13 on trial lessons with Graham McKiddie. There's 6 members on the casual list with 1 K13 allocated. So instructors are not just encouraged, but requested to volunteer today, and your help will be gratefully received, I'm sure. Buggies and the management radios is working well, and the simulator is available as per normal. Looking at the airfield ops today, this is how it's going to be set up at the moment, with the grid to the north, landing north and south of the main runway with the launch point vehicle, club aerotowing on the main runway, and club winch launching on the grass to the south. If the wind, well, I'm sure the wind will go around, but as and when it goes around, we may well change the operation slightly to move the winch further south as that wind goes round. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you have a great day's flying and get lots of fun out of it, and please keep it safe. Thank you very much. See you out on the grid.